welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. This is episode 55, and it is March 6th, 2013. We are currently here in Virginia going through the Snowquestration. I wouldn't call it a blizzard because there wasn't a ton of snow, but the wind is crazy right now. And you'll hear it. I'm sure the microphone will pick it up because I'm in just a room full of windows and it is just windy. And there's a window behind the camera here. So the snow, sleet, rain combination that we're getting right now is beating up against the window pane, so you'll hear that too. But it has been a weather roller coaster today, and I'm glad I didn't go to work. The federal government was shut down today, so that was good. I'm a little worried about tomorrow though, since I get going so early in the morning. I don't know, it's going to turn to all ice. I don't know how that's going to affect my morning commute. So I may just work a half day tomorrow and go in later, or work a whole day and just go in later than usual. But I don't know, it's kind of been a crazy day. It's been fun getting to watch all the snow and having the snow down, a blanket of snow in the morning, and everybody has been, oh, it's snowing finally. This is more snow in one sitting that we've gotten here in probably 2 years. So I know a lot of people, especially like up in Maine and New England, are probably sick to death of the snow. Excuse me. But this is something, you know, just completely different for the rest of us. And growing up in Florida, I didn't really see snow until I was in my I've talked about it before. I was 20 the first time I really saw snow, and that was just a dusting compared to this, and this is just the dusting compared to like what Chicago gets. But I guarantee you about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour west of here, and they're dealing with 1.5 feet of snow, not just, I think we probably got about 5 or 6 inches. So, and that wind is just crazy. I love how in this area, when people start talking about snow, everybody becomes an amateur meteorologist. So everybody's on the weather sites, comparing forecasts, looking at the different weather models, and it's hilarious. Everything, like a day before, everybody starts just talking about it, making plans. I think it's even worse than down in Florida when you get a hurricane and everybody goes out and buys toilet paper, bread, and milk. I don't know why. Toilet paper, bread, and milk. But I'm not leaving the house today. I possibly might not leave the house tomorrow until everything kind of thaws and dries out. I don't think it'll be bad later tomorrow morning driving in. It's just I leave by 4:30 in the morning to get up to work, and I don't think it's going to be good driving. So anyway, welcome to the show. If you're new, thank you for joining us for the first time, and if you're a returning viewer, again, thank you. Let's see. I don't know why that says episode 54, but I've got the right notes there. Odd. Anyway. I'm looking at my show notes on my tablet, and it says episode 54, but I named it episode 55, so I guess I forgot to change the top. But the rest of the information is right. So moving right along, at the top of my show notes, I have links to my Ravelry, Twitter, Pinterest, Plurk, Google+, and Instagram. And there's also a link to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff Ravelry group. And you can get to the show notes by going to myordinaryjourney.com, right there. And you can get all those links. Now the show notes also have the links to my projects and the different yarns that I use and patterns that I like and things like that. So everything is a one-stop shop. So I would like to welcome some of our newest members to the group, and we have Many to Knit For, and that's Tab, and then Miss G Knits, and that is Gina. So ladies, thank you for stopping by and becoming members of the group. We do have 2 birthdays, and this is kind of funny. The 2 birthdays are on the same day, and it's the same day as my brother's birthday. So I think it's kind of funny. So we have The Yarn Goes On, and that's Lisa Marie. And Jet Girl 1313, that's Katie. So happy birthday. Some shout outs and announcements. Hopefully tomorrow we're planning on having the Fredericksburg area podcaster, videocaster sit knit at the Barnes & Noble in Central Park, barring any unseen craziness with the weather. I'm thinking everything should be fine by tomorrow night, so I'm going to plan on being there. The AF3 Sock Charity Sock Yarn Club, I sent out all the invoices for March last night, so if you're a member of the club, please check your emails because you should have your invoices there and ready to go. And I didn't do a lot of stuff this week, it seems like. I only worked on 2 projects really, and the reason why is because I've been doing some website development for my Spinners and Weavers Guild. So if you want to take a look to see what we're doing here in Fredericksburg as far as what fiber goes, take a look. It's the Fredericksburg Spinners and Weavers Guild website, and that is fswguild.org. And it's a really cute site. There is a link on my show notes, so if you would like to stay up to date, if you're kind of in the area but want to get more information, you want to take advantage of some of the resources, contact us. If you have questions about things, it's all there on our website. So if you want to become involved somehow, or just if you want to lurk in the shadows and just keep an eye on what's going on, that's a perfect place to do it. Alright, so the knitting game. Usually this week I would have something to vote on, because last week I didn't. But I'm not going to, because I just didn't feel like it. I've got so many projects kind of like in the queue, waiting in the wings. I've got a lot of stuff from prior knitting games that I need to showcase. So I want to do that and start really delving more into the patterns and the construction and some of the tips I've figured out, some of the tricks, some advice that I might have. So for the next few weeks, we're going to take a break from voting, and I'm going to just work on some projects, and I'm really going to work on them. So in the past, I've noticed, and this has become very apparent this go around too, 2 projects are about all that I can handle really at one time, and when I do that, they actually get worked on and things get accomplished. So not only do I have regular stuff just kind of sitting there, I have several knitting game projects that I need to get to. So let's start off with the latest and greatest. So that would be the Vittorio. It's more like a scarf, but they call it a shawl. It's like a crescent shaped. It's very long and thin, but the way it's styled in the photos, it just kind of wraps around your neck. The test sample for the pattern used diabolical yarn, and I gave viewers the option of picking what yarn they wanted me to use for mine, and diabolical also won out. So yay for that. So this is the first time I've actually used, I have 2 skeins of yarn from diabolical, and this is the first one that I've actually used and wound up. So I can't pronounce the name. It begins with a TH. It's got a Y in there. It's got a sickle looking. Themisiel, I think is But anyway, what's really neat about it, it's almost rainbow colors. And it's very not bright, but there's saturation to it. But they're not dark colors either. They're very vibrant. I mean, they're deep. I guess that's a good word. They're very deep colors. So the reason why this pattern works so well with the yarn is it's supposed to keep it from pooling because of the way it's constructed. And so far, it's going swimmingly. So this is my project to date. I will put a stitch marker here so I can show you progress next week. I've finished the first section. I believe I finished maybe even the second section, A and B. So I'm moving on to, this is kind of like the setup for the whole thing up until this point. So from here on out, it's going to get longer and wider, but not that much wider. I think this is probably as wide as it gets, and you just kind of grow it long from there. But as you can see, the colors are really pretty. It's starting to take on that chevron effect that the pattern makes. And then you've got these little nifty little points on one end. And this is like the straighter edge that goes up around your neck. So this is what I've done since Saturday. So I've gotten through quite a bit of it. I'm using size 6 fixed ChiaoGoo red lace circular needles. These are not my interchangeables. I don't know how long the cable is, but I'm guessing it's probably a 24-incher. But these are size 6s, and it's like butter. I love working with these needles, nice tips and everything. Like I said, again, I'm using Diabolical's yarn, and I keep them in my little Zen Master froggy bag. So, love it. I love the bag. So that is that project. The next knitting game project that I have had some progress on is the Easy 100th Anniversary Camping Half Circle Shawl. I'm in the middle of a row right now, so I can't really stretch it out. But you can see I didn't work on it a lot, but I did work on it some. I finished up the third repeat of this leaf section, which is the final section before you do the edge border. But I don't have enough yarn to finish in this skein to finish the whole thing. I have enough to finish the leaf section, and then I'm going to switch over, and I have another skein of yarn that I dyed up. It's close to this, but it's not quite, but I think it'll be okay if I just use it on the edge border. It'll look like it was on purpose. So that's the plan. So I've gotten like 6 rows done. I'm like on the second row of the fourth and final repeat of this section, and there's 12 rows altogether. So that I'm not far behind. So probably another day or two and I'll be onto the border section. So that's kind of exciting that I'm getting close to getting it finished. I don't know if I'm going to keep it this color though. I might over dye the whole thing somehow. Maybe get like a big turkey roaster pan and just bake it in the oven and do another color wash, because there are some flecks of gray. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there are still some gray sections of the yarn, and I think that's where I had the yarn ties and it acted as a resist. So, but it kind of gives it a little bit of a dimension too, so I'm kind of torn between leaving it this color or over dyeing it again once I all get it finished. But then if something happens, say, and it gets felted horribly or something, I don't want to wreck it. And I was worried enough as it was about the yarn being felted just by dyeing it and forgetting it in the crock pot that one day. So I have that to consider, and I'll make up my mind probably at the last moment. So again, this was a Christmas present that it's March now, so I need to get on it. Alright, so those are the 2 knitting game projects that I've actually worked on. The other 2 knitting game projects that I haven't completed are the Sensual Knits. That's the Sayuri sweater. That one is still resting. I gotta rip it out and start over again, but that's fine. I was playing with a new technique for throwing my yarn, and it screwed up my gauge, and some of the stitches are really big. My tension was off, so I need to go back. I only worked not even 10 rows on it, so it's not a big deal if I have to rip it out. And the exotic draped ruffle, after I get done with these 2 projects, that probably will be the next one that I pick up, because I have the yarn for it now. I'm going to use some of my hand spun and another yarn that I picked up from one of the local yarn stores. So that's something that I can work on next. So that's, I think, what I'm going to do next. Alright, so I keep playing with, this is the prototype for my 3 Willows cowl that I did, and it's like a very long scarf, and it kind of, because it's stockinette, really, it tends to roll up, and I like playing with it, but it's 100% baby alpaca, and it feels so good. And it's a little chilly in here because I am in a room full of windows. Okay, so moving on to the other stuff, some knitting. The only knitting that I did this week was on Knitting Game Project, so I don't have any other knitting or works in progress to show. So I thought I would take the opportunity to highlight a new sort of feature that Ravelry is currently highlighting on their website, and this is pattern recommendations. And what Ravelry has done, they take patterns that you own, patterns that you like, patterns that are in your queue, designers that you like, and they find things that are similar, either other patterns from the designers that you already own work from or have liked, and they kind of give you something new every day to look at. So I wanted to go through and highlight 3 patterns that were in my recommendations that I think I put on my queue, and one I know I'm going to buy. It's available today, so it wasn't ready yet when I was looking everything up, but I will buy it. And then the other 2 I put in my queue on my wish list. So the first one is the Level Up Socks by Heather from Highland Handmaids. The detail on these socks, it's a cable panel of twisted knit stitches, and why I like this one is because the cables are very delicate. You're not crossing like 3x3 or 3x2 or anything like that. It's just a 1x1 cross, but it's not like the cable, the patterning is very, the cables are very rounded, so it's not like I don't know how to explain it. It's very organic looking to me. I don't know how to explain it, but I like how delicate the cables are, and it's just that one panel. So it's mostly stockinette, which is really nice. So that pattern is supposed to be available today, and it is $3. Then there is the new Canaan by Elizabeth Smith, and that is kind of like a cowl, and I like the way it looked. It was more of like a turtlenecky type, not big and loose like this, but it was kind of just nice around the neck, but it was double over. So you could leave it like that, and then it goes like this, but it's bigger, you know, it's wider, so it stays up around your neck better. So that one was $4. And then the last one that I liked was the Alluvium, and that's by Jennifer Dussault, and that is kind of a neat cardigan wrap thing. So it's basically a rectangle that you put afterthought arms in. So I guess while you're knitting it, at the place where you want to put your arms, you put in like you would an afterthought heel, because you're just working it from one, you probably can't see how far out, but you work it from one end to the other, from side to side. It's not top down, but side to side, and it's a rectangle. So when you pull it around yourself, you get this really angular front. It's really nice with a collar, and there's this large cable that goes across the back of your shoulders and down the arms. It's really kind of neat looking, so I would check it out. I really liked it. All right, so for stash enhancements, I don't know what possessed me. I was at Joann's this weekend picking up fabric for my bags that I've been making, and I had some good coupons, and I decided, you know what, I want to go see if they have any of that Lion Brand's Fisherman wool to do a Rocky Coast cardigan with. Sure enough, they had some, so I picked it up. So I got 4 skeins of the Lion Brand Fisherman's wool. This is the natural color. I got 2 skeins that were in the same dye lot, so those are going to be like my base. They're not too far off. They're all kind of like this nice creamy color, but I think there are some variation. So I'm going to have to, I think just to make sure things don't look weird, I'm going to alternate skeins. It's going to suck, but I'm going to do it. And what I might do is I might take one of these and wind off half and make half skeins of each of these center pull balls and do it like that. So yeah, I had to pick up 4 of these because it called for, I figure I'm going to be the biggest one. So that was 1,800 yards. So I have like 1,860. So I might go down a size because 56 is pretty, I'm not 56 across, close, but not quite. So I think I could go down 1 size and be fine. So, Rocky Coast cardigan, that's also on the to-do list, just because I bought the yarn. Alright, so in timeout, I still have the Aurora socks. I think I'm going to rip those back to the heel and start over and just do a regular. I'm not happy with the pattern I was designing. It just wasn't coming out right. So I think I'm going to rip back to the heel and just do a regular sock up. I might see about doing some basic calf shaping on the back. Some knit front and backs just to give it a little bit of a oomph. Just a little design thing. I don't know. But what I was doing, it was not working. So the Aurora socks, the Downton Abbey Mystery KAL, like I said, I'm only in the middle of Clue 2. I haven't touched that in a while. Needless to say, I did not sign up for the Game of Thrones no longer they're doing. I would love to, but yeah, no, that ain't happening. I still have Jason's sweater that I wanted to work on. And Heather from Highland Handmaids, the Fiberista Files, I am working on a pair of Don't Cage Me In socks, which is kind of like a precursor to the Level Up sock. So I've got a couple of her socks I need to knit first. But those are all resting. I'm not actually working on those. Alright, my spinning, I haven't spun it all this week, so the greenwood fibers are still sitting on the wheel. I don't know, I might do something on those. No promises. Alright, so sewing, bags, 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 more bags. I introduced last week the large, extra large sweater bag, and those are awesomely, swimmingly, and wonderfully. You guys have really embraced those. So I picked up some more fabric to work on the, to make into bags. So for some reason, this aqua and blue with the little pops of red, this is going to become a large sweater bag, and the inside, or the outside pocket is going to be just plain white. So just so you know, the sweater bags, the extra large sweater bags, they have included an outside zipper pocket and a handle, kind of like this. So that is one bag. It's going to be the cool blue. And I think for the sweater bags, I'm just going to make them and put them up in the shop. Then I picked up some other fabric. I already had this. And it was so funny. I picked up these two, not even realizing that they were part of the same line as this. So I'm going to be able to do a bag, at least one, maybe two, and a combination of these three fabrics. And then I also have a solid, just in case I want to do, if I have enough for two. I think I have enough for two, but not enough for two with a pocket with this, so I'll have to mix and match. But for some reason, I just love this fabric for like the outside. It reminds me of like 1960s Las Vegas. I don't know, when I see this, I see 1960s Las Vegas. I don't know. It's kind of nifty, neat, different. So look for those bags coming in the shop. If you know you want one or the other, just let me know. And when I make them, I'll do a reserve listing for you. I have no problem doing that. So that's all I have this week. I got to record while it was fairly daylight out, so that's a little bit different. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show. It's a little bit different, a little bit low-key. It's okay. I think I'm going to go snuggle up and take a quick little nap because I can. And you know what? Right here at the end, before the end of the show, I'm going to input, I took a little video earlier of when it was really coming down snowing. So if you didn't see my plurk from earlier, here's your chance to see what it looked like and why everybody was, oh my gosh, it's just snowing. Keep in mind, this is Virginia and not New England or in the Rocky Mountains somewhere. This is a lot of snow for us in one sitting, but it is probably by far not a lot of snow for a lot of people. But it causes heart attacks around here. So I hope you guys enjoy the little extra bit here at the end. And please come back and join me next week. So, bye. So I don't know if y'all can see, but this is the snowy weather we're having here in Virginia. So this is my street. I'm standing on my front porch. You can see that, yes, there is some wind. You can probably hear my wind chimes. My poor butterfly bush is all flattened out with the snow. And it is big, big, fat flakes right now. The sky is pretty dark. See, everybody's out having a good time. It's nice to have a snow day every once in a while. We've been missing this for a couple years now. So I don't know if this is the end or just in the middle. But this is pretty good. Very impressive. So that's my snow day. Hope you enjoy yours.